Hey, 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 welcome back. Welcome back to the Virgo channel. My name is Laura. If you're new to my channel, I'm going to do a general message for Virgo. Know that energy is fluid. Roles can be reversed. Just interpret the message as it best resonates with you. Also know on this channel and all my channels, I like to dive deep within the reading. I look at everything, but we take time to look at the spiritual blocks and shadows to see how they play out as karmic themes, because a lot of times we already know that the person has feelings for us. We don't really know whether it's going to work out. We usually feel like it's not going to work out because the person does things to trigger us, right? And so we say, why does that person deliberately try to get underneath our skin? A lot of times we know that that's what they do. And so when we're able to see our situation from a different perception, that allows us to react a different way because we're not taking it personally. However, a lot of times when we do take it personally, well, that means that we need healing. See, the universe brings you what you need, not necessarily what you want. You may like what this person looks like, but you don't like how this person acts. And so, what you'll also see a lot of times within our relationships is that they continue to play out karmic themes. And the karmic theme always tells you what you really feel about yourself. And so you're really only having a relationship with yourself, really God. And everyone else is a reflection of yourself, just accessing what you need to do to heal. And so a lot of times you'll find yourself in really uncomfortable, times of life, uncertainty. And those are times that, that would be called the hermit times, right? It's where you go into isolation. It's where you don't really feel like being around that many people. It's a time of reflection so that you can again metamorphose, right? Just like what a caterpillar goes into a cocoon right before it becomes a butterfly, it metamorphoses. It goes through that change, right? It's a like looks weird from the outside. It usually looks horrible from the outside. Like, what is that, a spider web? When really it's again the transformation process a lot of times is not a pretty process, but it's a time where you'll definitely go into hibernation. All right. I don't know why I say what I say in the beginning of a reading, but possibly there's either you or your person is in this energy. We're going to see how it's playing out. Now, anything of any importance, our Revel Listed channel, you know where to find it in the description box below. Give the video a like, comment, be interactive. I love it when you guys are. All right, let's see what the underlining energy is. The underlining energy is intuition. Oh, too stuck on it. We're going to take it. Intuition, detachment. But I always like to take from another deck. All right, I'm doing it anyway. Pride. So I feel like you're in separation from someone that's like intuitively trying to feel like whether it's okay to come back. And I say that because of pride. Person doesn't want to come back to where you're going to turn them down, right? They care a lot of what other people perceive. So the underlining energy is that someone is still very much connected to you, but they're still in their ego, which we've been getting that a lot lately, like that type of theme, hoping that it would change. So I pulled out a different deck today altogether because I'm like, all right, well, let's see what this person on a spiritual level or on a physical level. I'm going to use my heart deck to see what is this person, again, that has this connection. But when a person doesn't want to feel bad, what do? They detach, they disassociate. So it's a soulmate. Your soulmate is already with you in spirit. Believe this, and they will manifest physically. So this person is still connected to you. They feel like I'm your soulmate. I know that now. So I feel like they don't know whether or not you still feel the same way is what I'm getting at. So it's almost like if you show this person an inkling of, hey, I'm interested, they would show up like in a heartbeat. They would, find themselves back to you No problem. Twin flames. So this person actually feels like you're a twin flame. And you may feel like it's a twin flame relationship, but and understand twin flame relationships are super hard. You know, you're dealing with a person that just because they might want to heal doesn't mean that they're healed. It means that you're dealing with a person that has a lot of spiritual blockages that is going to come into your life, and you bring out good attributes that they need, and vice versa. A twin flame is your opposite, your polar opposite, but both parties learn how to survive differently growing up. So one might be intuitive and the other person is more like logical, where this person's intuitively trying to figure out, and I don't really feel like that's their strength. So it's almost like this spiritual energy is pulling this person to you. I have never wanted anyone so badly like I want you. I mean, I pulled from my homemade deck because I was like, well, you know, maybe this person is just thinking that, because they don't have you. But I feel like this person really has, you know, thought about this. They've been in separation for a long time. I feel like they've tried to end this connection. I know that you may not feel for me as I feel for you anymore. Whether that's pretty much what this person is saying. It's like, I know that a lot of time went by. I already know that you might not want to be with me anymore. I mean, that's common sense because it took a long time for this person, I feel like, to figure out who you were, to surrender. But that, again, they always knew that there was a spiritual connection, and that spiritual connection is that twin flame connection. It's a soulmate connection, which doesn't logically make sense. But it's almost like spirit is making this person come to a place of surrender, right? It's like they fought it, they didn't want it. They feel so much love for you, and it's like something that I feel like they can't control. I feel like I am not good enough for you. Well, you know that because this is why this person, I feel like, didn't give you the time. I never looked to see what this person did. We wanted to see where they are now, and what they're saying is, I know you're my person. I know for a fact I have feelings for you. I know that you might not have feelings for me anymore. But we don't know what got them to this place and what they did. So, I hate to go backtrack, but it's almost like calling us to do so. And, whether you're with this person or not, Spirit says the most important thing is to understand what spiritual blockages they represent for you. You always have free will, obviously, to pick a person. I just feel like this person is coming to this awareness now, like, oh my God, like you're my person. But it's like I can't really come back intuitively. I can't really feel whether you're here or not. It's like because you're not. It's like the connection's not what it was. And that's what this person knows. They might say that they don't. There was a lot of manipulation. Like after a while, like you couldn't really tell whether the person really had feelings for you or not, whether they were using you or not. Um, where you feel like this person created a lot of illusions, and that could be who they are, what they really wanted, whether they came on really strong and acted like they really wanted a committed relationship, and they never really wanted that. So they never really created a strong foundation for you. And the reason why is because they had a lot of unresolved trauma that continued to play out within their connection. So whatever happened in their previous relationship, they brought into this relationship. So the relationship never really had a chance. Because when a person doesn't feel safe, that's when they create illusions, and that's when they do have to manipulate. So it becomes a one-sided relationship, and that's really what it is. It's like person's wearing a mask, and and in that you're always gonna be the one that's blamed for everything, because this person loves to avoid, because to talk and work through things, it creates intimacy because it creates trust. This person does anything but they don't want to create a stable foundation. And what they know is that sometimes people will fight for them. They can completely have a one sided connection, but they can only have a one sided connection with people that are on a low vibration. This person came across a twin flame. They didn't know what a twin flame was. They never felt a connection like this before. This person, they have a good time, not a long time. They don't, that's not, it wasn't their language. So they actually had to ruin this connection in order to actually see, hey, you were a blessing. That's why they never gave you the apology. It goes back to their pride. It goes back to their ego. Like, well, again, I did all that. Now to have to come back and apologize and tell you why I did it. Well, it's like their karma. It's their karma of knowing, like, most likely you don't like them anymore. It's like they're going to sit there. They don't know because I feel like there was a deep connection. This person saw you as someone nice and pure and innocent and someone that, it was a twin flame connection. It's almost like it's a little bit of a fairy tale where, oh, this is my person. So almost like, that it was never going to fall apart, that you were never going to walk away, and that it would be able to stay like one sided. And, this person took it to the extreme. And so we can see, obviously, just by the way that they reacted in this relationship, that they have a lot of spiritual blockages. I mean, come from a place of lack. This person might be going through financial issues due to previous relationship or the loss of a job, something that makes them feel inadequate. But I feel like this person has bad relationships and they never really got over that past relationship, and that energy stays with them. When they feel inadequate, they feel not good enough. So the thing is, now that they have feeling, it's like I feel like it doesn't make them feel all fuzzy and like, oh wow. If anything, it stresses them out. And it stresses them out because, hey, well, what didn't you thinking about me? Now you don't want to talk to me. It's making them a little bit more paranoid, which is really the feeling of inadequacy, right? Like, oh, no one likes me. Oh, like I messed up this connection. They already know that they did. And that's the thing, because they were lazy. They didn't really want to do it. And then because they didn't want to deal with, whatever you had to say to them, judgment, criticism, because they already feel bad about themselves. So, now they're sitting in a place of, like I said, anxiety. We don't really see them doing anything except for worried that they're going to be rejected. So, because they know that they're deserving of it. And they know that they're not just deserving of it for how they treated you, but just how they treat people in general. So this person just really thought who they were. I feel like the wheel is turned and they realizing that they have feelings. I'm gonna see, are they gonna do anything? Not saying that you should take this person back, but we just want to know whether or not they're gonna do anything. Because you already see that this person is like one-sided. Oh, they are our union energy needs clearing. So it's again right now, like this person knows you need to say they're sorry, forgive me, I love you, I'm grateful for you. That there's been no intimacy. They demolished this connection. They already know. It's like they drilled it into your head that they wanted you to feel a certain way, and if they gave you nothing, to the point that, you know, they already know. Like I said, there's nothing more to say. It's almost like no matter how much they have feelings for you, they can feel it, because soulmate twin flames, they have a connection to each other, a very strong spiritual connection. This person is already feels like you're detaching from it. And so that's actually what awoke in this person. However, they can feel like you're not happy. They can feel it because it says being mirrors for each other makes self love so important. I wish that I was there to love you, but I'm not. I hope you're loving yourself. Because again, the twin flame mirrors what needs to be healed, to be loved. The shadow is, again, what we detach and disassociate from. This person represents that. And what you see is in the relationship, they did things to trigger you. So that's why you're like, this person's not my fucking twin flame. And it's like Spirit says, they actually are. A twin flame stays in your life forever. They just come in and out of your life. It doesn't mean you don't date other people and go about your life, but they represent that unconditional love that you have for a person that also is that pain. It's the pain and pleasure. And like, that's why it's the hardest relationship to have, because there is so many different emotions. And right now, it's like it's easier for you to be like, fuck you. I'm not going to give you anything. I detach my energy from you. It's like, I don't want to give you anything. And this person knows it. And now they have anxiety. It's again, but they always had that feeling of rejection. So, this person just, again, it brings out the inner child wounds that need to be healed within you, as well as this person. Um, where the reason why this person did what they did is because, hey, when their mommy wasn't able to be there for them, or whoever, their parents weren't able to be there for them, they, just feel like everyone abandons them, that no one's really there for them. So what you see is that this person just really is never there for anybody because they're stuck in that trauma. The twin flame comes into your life to show you your inner child wounds. Well, to show you any of your spiritual blockages, but most of them come from childhood, and they're just replay the same karmic theme over and over and over again, which makes you perceive that you can't have, or keeps you in a lower energy. Again, the energy that's anything but unconditional love, which is the energy, by the way, of God, and the energy of the universe, and the energy that's inside of you when you're open to receiving. It's just that energy of unconditional love is when you're at ease, and so you're balanced. But these imbalanced relationships, which twin flame is going to be in the beginning, because you always have a runner and a chaser. And it goes like that for a long time. It's not like, oh, it happens for a month or 2 months. No, it doesn't. It happens like that for years. It's like that the person runs for years, and then they finally realize, well, the whole time I'm having feelings for this person and I'm the asshole running. Why am I doing that? And by the time they realize that, then the other person's like, fuck you, I don't want to deal with you. And now they're running. So it's, again, it represents that paradoxal, that there's a fine line between love and hate. And it's because the wounds that need to be healed is all that represents. Like this person, until then, they're going to keep rejecting the patterns. You both will project the patterns onto each other, which makes it really difficult to see, is it really true that you don't care about me, or do you care about me, but you're projecting the fact that because you were abandoned, that, and due to your previous relationship that mirrored your childhood wound, that I am also going to come in to your life and do the same thing? Or are you doing that? No, the person's doing it, but they're doing it because it's like they're preparing themselves for it to happen. So we see what we look for. So that's a prime example of the fact that this person and you have subconscious blocks that are affecting your ability to attract love and abundance. And understand that includes each other. So the twin flame connection is all about that in the beginning. No one talks about that. Everyone's like, oh, it's just hard, because the relationship is not all about, it's about not accepting. A lot of times it's about being angry, it's about being pissed off, it's having this energy that then this person comes into your life and awakens those feelings. So you're reliving that trauma just with that person who's actually supposed to symbolize like unconditional love, this perfect love. Well, just like how your parents were supposed to be perfect, as God would say, says it's again, but neither is perfect, only I am perfect. So we look at the wounds that they created with inside of you. You both have subconscious wounds due to inner child wounds, which makes it very difficult to attract each other, to be in a relationship, because there's too much projection of what's going on, where the person is trapped in their trauma, and you're gonna again react as fighting that, because it's again, you're like, this person's projecting their shit onto me, and I'm gonna then project my shit onto you, because it's like a reoccurring karmic theme, where that God's saying it's like you need to break the karmic cycle. It's like otherwise you wind up being attracted, like connected to like a trauma bond. And it's like this person wants to send a like a message to you, but they're like, again, I don't think that you want to talk to me. I don't think that you want to hear from me. Well, they already know that. You know what I mean? Come on. They already know. And that's the thing. It's like this person is accessing past life wisdom, and it's helping them see things from a different perception, which by the way, a twin flame connection is going to do. It's like we wouldn't stick around long enough, be like, I don't want to deal with this. Whatever this is, I don't want to deal with it. And God says, well, you don't really have a choice. It's unconditional love. So there's still this karmic connection. And it's like, well, I don't want it. And Spirit says, not until you learn the spiritual lesson. You have to integrate the spiritual lesson. Otherwise, you can't do nothing. You're stuck in a Mexican standstill with the other person. You're not going to go anywhere. And it's like just this energy, and which is really frustrating. But God says it, yeah, because it's like a block that shouldn't be there. It's blocking you from your true potentiality of abundance, again, love and abundance, you know, of things. It's cutting you off. That's what this person, twin flame, represents. And that's what they represent. They don't represent just a person that's like, oh, that's my person. No, they represent like, I'm going to come in and I'm going to make you do the healing that you need to do the healing. They represent a divine love for that particular reason, almost like God saying, oh, you both have prayed at this time to change my life. I want a better life. I want a better life, but I can't seem to make this part of my life work. And it could be business, it could be relationship, it could be any area. And God says, I got just the person. And it's like, and they're coming in and they are your opposite. They are, so like, again, someone that you probably wouldn't even choose. Be like, not even attracted to this person. Not really. They're not my type. I always like dark hair and, you know, dark skin. This person's blonde. Like, what the fuck is that? It's like, it's, you know, I shouldn't even, and I don't like really anything about that person, but I can't stop thinking about that person. So it's the paradoxal of it, which is why you can't break free. And the Spirit says, because it's designed for you not to until you learn the spiritual lesson, that integrate the spiritual lesson. How else do you think you learn? So we have to say, all right, what are the inner child wounds? And what are the other wounds? Why? It's like, in order to heal, you need to not just know the wounds, which is how are you contributing, but what am I supposed to do with the negative energy now? Because just because you learn the lesson, God says, oh, you that doesn't mean anything. You have to embody the whole new consciousness. You're in physical form for a reason, to learn and to manifest. And you can't fully manifest unless you embody the new consciousness, because it's the thoughts that you think and the emotions that you have. So without embodying the consciousness, you can't act as if you already have it. And you manifest through already feeling you have it, not by thinking you're going to have it. So you must integrate the spiritual lesson. God says you don't have a choice. And you're me in physical form. You just, again, the separation, that is the detachment, the disassociation, the trauma from inner child wounds that's there, that makes you feel as if you're separate from me, is what God says. But there's no separation between you and me. That's why you're able to create abundance and love. But you're thinking that you can't, because, again, of the environments that you lived in. So your relationship is in accordance to that from a spiritual level. So don't try and psychologically figure it out, because you're just going to get burnt out. You know, you're going to get mad because you're going to be like, what? I got the fucking IKEA brand. I got to put together a Christmas tree. They're that stupid. It's like, I got the retarded one. It's like, what is, like, you get mad. It's like I got the broken one, I got the defective one, I got the handicapped one, I got the what the fuck. That's what it makes you feel like. Where God's saying it's like, well, you know, it's the healing that you needed. It's like you're not gonna like it. Especially if you came from a place of abuse, psychologically, emotionally, spiritual, where someone tried to suppress your energy, you know, there was a lot of detachment, disassociation. So you attracted somebody like that. So you had blockages. And the blockages were created because of lies and secrecy. So the lies could be who you're supposed to be, what you're supposed to be. And what you better not tell people about that's what you want to do. It's again the lies, which is again perception. Everything's perception. If you grew up in an alcoholic family where there was adultery or some imbalance, well, hey, that's a secret too that we're not going to share, and it's a lie, so we all have to protect that lie. So it affects us how we view ourselves, because hey, it's then you're not going out and discovering the wonders of the world, the wonders within you, when you are again, you know uh, protecting the lie. And if it's with family, there's always going to be a little bit of a loyalty. But the abuse, it could be again, hey, I'm not being treated that nicely, and I have to live in accordance to this lie of who, I'm supposed to be and what I should be. So I always feel like I'm misunderstood, where it's like when you have people committed to not understanding you. And remember, in dysfunctional families, there's always going to be one that's the black sheep. There's always going to be one that is made to be believe that they're bad because they are not, you know um they're not protecting the lie. They're not, but in that, you're seen as bad. You're seen as, and your life becomes that. Where, again, if you're expressing yourself, you're being suppressed. And so it creates a lot of negative energy. But understand you were taught this negative energy too if there was abuse, right? So that was someone that was around you that was angry, that projected their thoughts, their feelings, their opinions onto you. And if you did what you wanted to do, well, hey, you were seen as bad. You were seen as a problem. You were seen as, and so we see that a lot of times when our parents, they suffered from addictions or codependency or whatever, narcissistic traits almost, where your parent acts as if you're an extension of them. And if you don't do what they want you to do, and you're not seen the way that they want you to see, then it's psychological and it's emotional. It's because, again, their identity, how people see them, is based on how they see you. So, it's not a blame game, but we have to understand, what is it all? Well, it affects that second chakra, and the second chakra is the water element. It is the passion center. Well, it's also your unique individuality. It's how you perceive yourself. So if somebody in our environment when we were young was making us feel that, hey, like we weren't good, or made us feel like we're really misunderstood, then we don't feel strong within ourselves. So then we begin to walk from that level. So you might say, well, how does it come out? Well, where you would be overly nice, overly caring about other people's feelings, but there would always be a sense of feeling like I never get what I should get, because it's not like the rage goes away. But then what happens is that we try to take matters into our own hands to create a new reality for ourselves, but we create the same exact reality, because it's the energy that needs to be integrated, is what Spirit's saying. So this person represents that psychological and emotional abuse, like making you mad, like again, like it makes you want to detach, wants you to make, because again, they don't nurture the connection, they neglect the connection. They want you to stay connected, but for what? It's like, is the what the whole thing is, where the person doesn't care as long as, you know, they're connected. Where you've come to a place of saying, oh, unless you're going to give me something, I'm not going to stay connected to you. You know, it doesn't, it's not rocket science. And spirit says, well, the way that you then um, integrate the spiritual lesson is like, first and foremost, like to know that this situation was to help you integrate fragmented pieces of yourself. So they represented that childhood wound that you needed to integrate. So there was a purpose for them, again, to alchemize the energy. And that's also to see like how strong you actually are. It's like part of you, like it didn't, wasn't giving yourself credit. Like, where again, if you grew up in an environment where you always questioned about who you are, and it doesn't mean that your parent meant to do that. It's again, they could do it out of love. It doesn't matter. They did it out of love, or they did it to out of meanness. Spirit says, I don't care. It still creates a second chakra imbalance, and that imbalance is how you perceive yourself, and you aren't coming from your true sense of self. And that's why this person thought, maybe I can, finagle this to get what I want. And what it is that you always stood your ground. You didn't have to yell and scream. It helped you transform yourself. And that's why I say, hey, I know what I'm worth. I don't need to be with like someone like this just because we had a connection. Spirit says, no, it's time now for you to go into like the unknown. It's evoke your curiosity, discover new aspects of yourself and the world. Because hey, you will never know whether you really want to be with this person. It's time now that you run, and that you run and see what other things are available to me, is what spirit says, meaning you go into the unknown. Like, where you really, are going to grow, and you're going to grow because people are going to see you for who you are today. You're not going to be around someone that continues to try and push you into an older version of you. Remember, the twin flame connection is always challenging you to not fall back into codependency, into like old coping mechanisms. That's why there's a fine line between twin flame and past life karmic mate. Twin flame person wants to do the work. Does that mean they know how to do the work? Spirit says they don't know how to do the work. It's like you're teaching them. So go into the unknown, pour into yourself, see what your other options are, because this person better, like, they have to work to come back into your life. They don't know what it looks like. The love that they have for you is what will make them do the work. But did they know that they're going to do that work? No, they don't know that they're going to do that work. It's like they just wind up doing it because they're like, and halfway through, they're like, wow, I really love this person. It's like, because look at all that I'm doing for this fucking person that doesn't even care about me, but I'm trying to win this person back. And you need to see that. Otherwise, you're not going to take this person back. You'll never forgive this person. And Spirit says, and one of your spiritual things is forgiveness. But understand, it's more about forgiving yourself. You can say, I grew up in an abusive family. I grew up with this. I dated this person. Spirit says, it's forgiving yourself, of saying, hey, maybe I knew that it was bad and I should have got the hell out. I should have set boundaries. I should have treated myself nicer. I should have. That's what this is about, Spirit says. It's like that you create, time to create an inner sanctuary so that you're always connected to God, the higher self. That you again connect to the safe and sacred place within inside of you, and understand that, right now, this is about you, you know, finding the passions that interests, hobbies, things that stir up your soul again, and to feed that, to feed it, especially when, like, nothing may be happening, or like tired of being in the same energy of waiting for something to happen. Spirit's saying it's like you fulfill yourself is again, and you know your worth by investing in yourself. That's why when people come into your life, they're actually being shown how you like to be treated by how you're treating yourself. There's no words, they just know by your action. It's like people that use words are never respected because people are like, oh, need to say it then. I'm going to do what you show me, though. So, guess what? When you're again invested in you, that you're not giving that much. You're giving accordance to whatever that person, but you have a life. So, you're not so close up to the picture where Spirit's saying it's like when they come back, they better see a different version of you, is the whole thing. Because in separation, the twin flame does a lot of healing. What the twin flame learns is there's unconditional love. Both parties were not taught that. Both parties were taught, again, love was conditional, which is why this person does what they do. But and that connects before when you're in a lower vibration, you create a trauma bond, where that's it's based on being stuck to like that trauma of childhood, where you're like, no, I'm not going to do that, and this is what I'm going to do, and this is how I'm going to do it, which forces this person, because hey, what they see is they're not going to be able to shut that energy off, and Spirit says that that's what it'll take. They're going to see they can't control love. They're also going to have to be in regret for a while, and watch you and see that you're having a good time and a good life. And, they have to pay for what they did. Otherwise, like I said, you wouldn't just be able to take this person back and be like, oh, okay, because we're twin flames. You wouldn't. You'd be like, I'm not taking this person back. And it's like because they know exactly what they did, how they did it, why they did it. And Spirit says, yes. But if you live your life and you get fulfilled and you date and you do whatever, and this person comes back into your life and they're a different person and you've already lived and they didn't ruin that, you're not dealing with the same person anymore. And what you learn is unconditional love, which is like, wow, that really can transcend the limitations of my mind because, you know, all this, but Spirit says it's the way that the relationship is designed. It's not an easy relationship. It's a super hard relationship, but it's one that is imperative for your evolution. If you have inner child wounds that are that severe where you're like, I can't manifest money or like abundance, or it's I feel like there's a block between me and being able to access my spiritual sovereignty, where God says, well, I'm inside of you as a gift of the Holy Spirit. You should be able to access that. You're like, I can, it's not working, look. And so Spirit says, I got just the person. I got just the thing. So it's not that they come in and heal, but they trigger things inside of you where you're like, fuck this, I'm going to do this instead. And that is what makes you heal in actuality. Where Spirit says, they awaken things that, again, are tough that you have to look at. But again, they're also holding to a standard of unconditional love. Like you love that person, they're actually holding space for you in spite of it. And where you're like, I don't want that person to see it. And Spirit says, why they still have unconditional love for you. It doesn't matter. It's like, this is what it looks like. You might be like, I don't really like what it looks like. And Spirit says, no, you don't like what it looks like because you have an intimacy problem too. It's just you attract people that run from you. So it usually doesn't come out that way. Like it comes out that way only if someone really is like, oh, I'm ready to be in a relationship with you where I'm going to give you everything that you ever wanted. You're like, well, I don't want that, all that shit. Take a step off. It's like, but if, somebody's not giving it, then it's like, why aren't you giving it? Where Spirit's saying that's the whole dynamic of those wounds is both parties have the same wound. They're just, you're just replaying a karmic theme over and over, which is solidifying that belief that you can't have when you really can have. It's the illusion of separation, and separation between you and God, you and your spiritual sovereignty. That's the thing. But one day heaven will be on earth, and that's through the character of man. But we're in that spiritual war right now. That's what spiritual warfare is, when we're like, oh my God, look at, like, I'm having a hard time with the basic things in life. And spirit says, yeah, because you have to be close to God right now. That's what's most important. And that's the through the Holy Spirit that's inside of you. That, because when you stay close to that, no negative energy can actually be. It has to flee from you. It has to. Whatever the attachment, whatever the negative energy, it has to. And we can stay close to the Holy Spirit through our passion, through embodying that energy. That's how we give and receive of love. God is love. The universe's energy is love. When we are open to receiving, we are in the energy of love, and that will transcend any negative energy. All right, I'm going to leave that there. Hey, Debbie, and I will talk to you guys later. Debbie, I'm going to have coaching today. I think I'm going to have it at around like 7 o'clock. Maybe I might have it at like 8:30. I'm going to have it at like 8:30. I'm going to have it in the evening. So keep an eye out. And for all you other guys, be true to yourself. Remember, the kingdom of heaven's inside of you. If you can imagine it, you can create it. And we're all David going up against Goliath, meaning situation seems impossible. God will always say, please don't do my job. Do your job. Be like childlike. Till next time, be true to you. Bye bye.